Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me once again. Today we are in Richmond, Virginia for round 5 of the WTRL Zwift Racing League. And this is the Cobbled Climbs course. The first time that WTRL have done different race lengths for Cat A and B and Cat C and D. So for us here in Cat C, it is 3 laps of the Cobbled Climbs course. For the poor souls in Cats A and B, it is 5 horrible laps of the Cobbled Climbs course. So let's take a look at the course now. So as we see here, the course is lumpy to say the least. It starts off flat, then straight into a downhill. Around about 5.5 kilometres, you come across Libby Hill, which is 600 metres at 6.4%. Then straight down and straight up into the 21st Street, which is 300 metres at 10%. And these are the 2 categorised climbs of the race. Then it's downhill, and before around 8 kilometres we hit the Governor Street climb, and this is the one that will take us up to the finish. Now it is fairly consistent around about 5-6%, but it does have pinches at around 9 to 10%, and then falls flat uphill about 1 to 2% up to the line. So having a look now at the elevation map, and you will see exactly why this is a rough ride. So you can see the big lumps in the road here, only the small section of flat, and the 3 downhills for recovery. So a very rough race, short laps to the point, but hard laps. Now this one I knew that we weren't going to be able to hang with the lead group. This was just never going to be on the cards for me. So we've gone for a different strategy. Being a bigger fellow that can put out some decent power, my goal was to hit that 21st Street climb as hard as possible. Not worry about anything else. Don't worry about Libby Hill. Don't worry about Governor Street. Don't worry about finish position. Just hit that climb on 21st Street, 300 metres, 10%, hard as we can, and try and take the fastest through the segment points on all 3 laps. So the countdown is on, and let's see. It's the usual start, obviously, heavy going, and off we go. So an immediate sort of 4.5-5 watts a kilo, but not the usual crazy sprint. I think everyone was a little bit trepidatious of the hills. Even 3 laps, that's 9 big climbs, and you can see from my easing up here, my goal is never really been to stay with the leaders. It's just to hang out. We'll try and find a group that will allow me to draft a little bit on the hills and go from there. So let's skip forward then as we finish leading and start the actual race over the start-finish line. Let's skip forward and get to the start of the climbs. And here we are. You can see Libby Hill rearing its ugly head. You'll excuse me if I have set this to fast forward, but I will talk a little bit about the teams that have done well here. So the results on the right hand side that you can see, Andrew Isaacs, HCZR Zwift, and Keith Lear in 3rd place, HCZR Zwift. Great results for them. Justin Milligan, Dirty Cycles, taking the 2nd place. So great results on the first climb for HCZR Zwift. We are way off 62nd, but time for some recovery, and then we will hit the first climb the first climb that we're paying any attention to, at least. So not too far to skip forward this time. As we come down the last hill, there are riders nicely spaced out on this hill. And go! 500 watts, 600 watts, 750, 800, 870, peak at 871 watts. The feather power up is going. We're in the draft. We're flying past people. 9.5 watts a kilo. Absolutely racing up the hill. Flying. The feathers expired. We've slowed about 7.5 watts, 6.8 watts. Pushing as hard as we can. Still 600 watts. And it was enough. 28.03 to take the lead at the time. And a look at the overall results there. Keith Lear, again, HEZR Zwift taking the top points first over the line. In second place is 5 Tim from Dirty Cycles, again more points for the Dirt team. And third place Owen Dart from Navy Cycling, good show from them as well. As it turns out, I think that 28.03 does get beaten. It does wind up being my best time, but I do believe that it does get beaten. Anyway, next time it's just a slow pedal up Libby Hill, so I'll see you there. Now then, if you excuse my slight skip forward, I don't believe that anybody really needs to see me haul myself up Libby Hill at 2.3 watts a kilo, so we will just skip towards the end. What is worth noting here from the results, Keith Lear and Andrew Isaacs, HEZR Zwift once again taking first and third over the line. Just putting on an absolute show of strength from HEZR Zwift. Mika Miles, second place, ZwiftScotland. We brought in a 10-year-old from the D1 category, and he has done himself proud there. What a 10-year-old is doing up at around about 8 o'clock at night on an indoor trainer, I have no idea. Certainly must be past his bedtime, but whatever, we'll take the points. It doesn't matter how they come. So let's skip forward and attack this hill for the second time. So here we are as we come up to 21st Street for the second time, and as you might be able to see, I have fluffed that by being in the wrong gear and just not getting enough power. I was late on the feather power up. 812 watts. I mean, it's still not shabby by any stretch of the imagination, but I was poorly prepared. Given I'm spinning at 120 revolutions a minute, you can barely see my legs for a blur in there. Not my finest time up there, but never mind. Let's have a look at the overalls. And so looking at the overall results, we see a new face on the first across the line, Tony Davies, Valhalla Vidar's shoes. I have no idea. Second place, Keith Lear, HEZR Zwift, once again putting in an absolute whopper performance from them. And then Mika Miles again, ZwiftScotland in third, another great performance from the youngster to take third over the line there. Fantastic. Just a little look at HEZR Zwift. This is a 5-rider team. They're not coming in mob-handed and heavy, so this is just an outstanding performance once again from HEZR Zwift. Anyway, we're going to pop forward, and I'll see you probably for the last 10 metres of Libby Hill, because nobody needs to see me going up there. And here we are. Libby Hill rears its ugly cobbled head once again. Proper slowest of slow pedals up here. My team captain was behind me, and I was just waiting for him to catch up. Real slow pedals so that we could do the last bit together. Finish as a team. Anyway, looking at the results, Andrew Isaacs, HEZR Zwift first, Keith Lear, HEZR Zwift second. Once again, absolute domination from that team, absolutely fantastic. I'm actually glad it's gone off the screen because I have no idea how on earth to say Pédaluer from Rainier Racing. No idea. I've butchered your name. I'm really sorry if you watch this. Sorry. Anyway, on we go, and we'll take a last sprint, and that will be us almost done. And here we are for the last time going into 21st Street, being led out by the team captain. Well, I was being led out down that hill. I'd moved away as I started to bump it into a higher gear, and we found the right gear this time. Went early on the feather power up, maybe a little bit too early in hindsight. Smashing up here, 12.5 watts a kilo, over 1,000 watts. Out the saddle, absolutely crashing on. Definitely went early with the feather power up, and definitely slowing down. The fatigue is still starting to show. 108, 107 revolutions, almost 200 beats a minute on the old heartbeat. Absolutely flying. And it wasn't enough to better my first lap's time, but it was pretty good. And so I look then at the first across the lines here, and the first across the lines show the usual suspects, Keith Lear and Andrew Isaacs, first and second. They changed position, so I had to swap them around on the little graphic. And then third place, Juanjo Ferris, Zwift España, another new name in the top three. Excellent stuff. So from here on out, this was just a soft pedal to the finish for me. I wasn't too worried about finishing points or anything, just happy to cruise in. But we'll skip towards the end and then look at the final results. And here we are as we approach the final corner. The results on screen now showing the first across the line. It is a win then for Juanjo Ferris of Zwift España. It seems to have been creeping up the last couple of first across the lines, and he's clearly kicked and taken the victory. An excellent result for Zwift España and the Spanish rider there. Second and third have been taken by the usual suspects in this race: Keith Lear, Andrew Isaacs, HCZR de Zwift. So yeah, fantastic result for them again. Like I say, from a small team, short manned. That's just excellent results for them, and they should be really, really proud of themselves, because that's amazing to do that with only 5 guys. As we progress towards the line here, we'll take a look at the overall tables. And the overall results table here for the race show HCZR de Zwift taking the win, Dirty Cycles seconds, Valhalla Vidar shoes, and then Zwift España 5th place for Navy Cycling and 6th for ZwiftScotland. You can't really say you're surprised. HCZR de Zwift, fantastic result for them. Dirty Cycles constant places as well. Zwift España with the overall victory. We took some good results in the sprints, and so pretty happy with taking a 6th place there. Really chuffed that the tactic worked, and we got some solid points. Great results from Mika Miles as well, the ringer, the 10-year-old. Good stuff. And finally, we'll take a look at the league tables. And here they are. So the Dirty Cycles, they have the lead from HCZR de Zwift. Like I say, fantastic results from them. We're down in 11th place, and we're still hoping for a top 10. But we'll see how we go. But only a 4-point lead for the Dirty Cycles over HCZR. It's tight at the top. Anyway, thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time when we go to Paris for the Champs-Élysées. Thanks again.